Hi, this is Majnu and we are at day 20 of the middle game training now. So again, a nice middle game position. This time it's from a game played by Natalia Pogonina with white against Anna Rudolph in 2007 during the European Championships, round 8 I believe. It's white to move here, and the question is, how can we with white try to gain control over the open file, the d file? It looks as if black has complete control over this d file with these 3 heavy pieces on the d file. Still, there is a way for white to gain complete control over this d file, and I would like to ask you to pause the video and have a good look at the position and see if you can find how this can be achieved. I'll continue my explanation in a few seconds. Alright, so I suppose that most of you had a look at the move rook to d4. It looks like a very logical move. If we are talking about gaining control over the d file, rook to d4 looks like an interesting thing to have a look at. Now, it's not the best move. In the game, a much better move was played, and that is knight to c5. But let's have a look at rook to d4 first. If you play rook to d4 here, black plays queen to c6. Now we can place another rook on the d file, rook e to d1, but then black has, for example, rook to d5. And now it's really difficult for white to gain control over this d file, because it's really the position of black is very safe, very solid with this rook on d5. Let's compare this with what happened in the game. The move knight to c5 is a very good move, since it forces the black rook from d7 to leave the d file. So after rook to c7, now the move rook to d4 is possible. Notice that black cannot take on c5 with the queen, because then rook takes d8. The d8 rook is undefended then. So here black played queen to e7. A move like knight to d5 to block the d file was also possible, but it doesn't look very attractive, since, for example, white plays b4 to defend his own knight, and then there is still this annoying pin for black, and the knight on c5 is very well placed, so this is not very attractive for black to play. In the game, queen to e7 was played, and now white took on d8, and after queen takes d8, rook to d1. The queen must go away, so again to e7, and now we have gained complete control over the d file. Of course, the knight on c5 is attacked. Two possible moves, knight to a4 or the move b to b4, and this last move was what was played by Pogonina, b to b4, defending the knight on c5. Now black played king to b8. In fact, we can say that white has achieved his goal now. White is controlling the d file, has a strong piece on c5, active pieces, and possible threats as well against the black king. We could look at things happening like attacking a6, looking at options of playing knight to a4, knight to b6, things like that. But I'm going to show you the rest of the game, because it has a beautiful ending. Queen to e5 was played here, the rook is being pinned on c7, and black played king to c8. Now the knight goes to a4, threatening to enter on b6, of course. Knight to d5 to prevent knight to b6, but now the g7 pawn is available to be taken, and this is actually not about pawn grabbing. It's not about pawn grabbing. The thing is that white, by moving this queen takes g7, threatens to enter on the back rank. There is a threat of moving knight to b6 followed by a check on the back rank. Just to show you the idea, imagine that black would play here queen to g5, for example, to defend his other pawn, then knight to b6 check. After knight takes b6, then queen to f8 check, and it's all over. It's checkmate in the next move. So let's go back to the position in the game. Right here, black found a way to postpone the end of the game by playing king to b8, so the king has an escaping square on a7, but this is not enough. White played here queen to e5 again, and black tried to attack the queen by playing f6. The queen went to d4, and already we start seeing that the next move of white can be advancing the c pawn to c4, chasing this knight away from this central square. And that is what happened. After queen to h7, black played c4, and the position of black starts collapsing completely now. The knight cannot take on b4 really, because then knight to b6 follows, and it's all over. We have a deadly threat of queen to d8 check, followed by checkmate on a8. So here in this position, what black did was she played queen to c2, attacking the knight on a4. And of course here knight to b6 was possible, but what white did was actually very simple, simply taking this knight, and after queen takes a4, taking the pawn on e6, and we have a position that is totally won for white. After rook to e7, white continued with a check on d8. One more move played by black, perhaps waiting to see if white would take the rook on e7, but of course not. There is a checkmate with check on b6 first. After the king moves to the back rank, rook d8 checkmate, and this is how the game ended. Now the most important part is of course the beginning of this example. Here the plan of controlling the d-file, but first playing knight to d5, forcing the rook to move away, and then rook to d4, and after the queen moves to e7, now trading, and rook to d1, queen to e7, and we have control over this d-file, this open file. This is, I find, the instructive part of this example. Okay, I hope you found this interesting to watch. I will place a web link to the website of Natalia Pogonina in the description of this video, so if you would like to have a look there at her website and her weblog and games and photographs and things like that, you can do that. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on YouTube. Goodbye.